The possibility of relocation for Dubla residents near the sea not a far-fetched idea for government. The authorities get tough to tackle restricted items in barrel imports, and AG refutes outside reports that Tommy Lee has won a lawsuit over the Dominica government. I am Iduna Jean-Baptiste with the Channel 5 News. We'll be back with the details. Thanks for staying with us. First up, threats of coastal flooding force residents of Dubla to consider possible relocation. Low-lying houses near the sea in Dubla experienced massive flooding this week following sea swells associated with a frontal boundary. Some of the residents there told Channel 5 News they are yet to sleep comfortably in their homes since the incident on Wednesday.
My son's room, my kitchen, also I cannot cook in my kitchen because this afternoon the sea still rise up and all the kitchen still have plenty water. So I have to wait till when the sea calm down so that I can clean there and bring back there how it was.
Okay.
Remember, during the hurricanes, we prepare for the hurricane season, but like this one, we did not prepare. When it's hurricane season, I don't stay there. I either go in by my auntie or by my daughter. I slept there last night. I slept upstairs.
What are your concerns?
Well, if they say we have to move, they have to make a way for us.
I there for so long, you know. I accustomed with it already. But if it's that I have to do, I have to go if I have to leave, you know. Because when the sea rough, it come there, sometimes it enter inside, you know. So if I get somewhere to stay, somewhere that better, I have to leave.
Clinton Pierre-Louis' home was the hardest hit by the flooding.
My clothes was in water, and also I have that for 2 days. Since I know there, that is the first time sea really enter that high. No, I can't sleep because also they still have water. And I want to sleep, but I cannot sleep. I have to be upstairs in my brother's room.
How would you like to see the authorities step in?
Well, I want them to relocate me because also the sea raging and I cannot sleep. I have to be looking for a shelter for them to sleep.
For Samuel Joseph, his livelihood will be on hold as seawater has damaged his work tools.
I have stuff in the cellar at a brush cutter just by. I just know that gone. Seeing we there, I just think the best thing we should think of somewhere else and leave the place for the sea. The sea decide to take back. So it's nothing we can do. I just expecting for the government to just take us out from there because I believe that is the right way.
What was the situation back during Tropical Storm Erica?
Erica, we didn't get it like that. It brings stuff, but then it brings a lot of debris from the river. Then 2 days after we cleared that off.
What the people of Dubla have observed is that since Tropical Storm Erica, the area is at greater risk of coastal flooding.
But that is the worst so far because I have about 20, 30 years there, never get it like that. Since we get the beach after Erica, normally any liquor sea, we have some work to do. Since after Erica, it brings a lot of stuff. We never had beach, we had the stone, so it helped. The stone would break off the wave. But right now, because of the sea, it breaks further, but then easier to come in.
In related news, Parliamentary Representative of Dubla, Catherine Daniel, says government will look into relocation possibilities for coastal residents of Dubla.
Immediate reaction, people would have to go and live with, go higher up, higher ground to, stay with their families. It needs to be. It will to get worse. That is the option that would have to take. Immediate solutions, because you could do one of two things, or you could do two things: to build a wall or to relocate the people.
In the case of building a sea defense wall, Daniel says it would still be a troublesome issue.
The people's houses on the bayfront are on the beach. So it's not like the Point Michel area where you build a wall, you have a road, so the waves could break and be on the road and the houses are a little in. This is not the situation in Yuma. This is as a result of climate change, because over the years, the people were like far from the sea. But with climate change, I mean, growing up in Dubla myself, there was a road where you could pass to go to Bilosh. It is no longer there. It's about half a mile into the sea. So the sea is coming.
She says government will have to explore relocation options for some 10 families.
And they to appreciate the fact that there is no immediate solution right now, but we have to contemplate, and that's what government is doing, analyzing the situation, to move in quickly to see how we can relocate those who have land, see what we can do for them, and those who haven't got, to see the solution.
The man who got the second highest number of votes in Monday's village council elections in La Plaine is responding to claims that he is ineligible to sit on the council. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
The La Plaine Village Council was dissolved in November last year due to the inability of council members to work together and shortcomings in their performance. Fresh elections were held on 9th January 2017, with Kervin Bato topping the polls with 246 votes, Jason Fontaine getting 238, Ella Loda 229, Asha Laronde 222, and Vernica Allen in a tie with the former chairperson Rose Blaise with 211 votes each. However, despite the election results, concerns are being raised with Jason Fontaine being a council member, given he has a criminal record. In an interview with Channel 5 News, Fontaine says whoever is still raising concerns with his past is trying to distract the people from bigger issues.
The only simple thing I got to say to that is that he who have sinned, let him cast the first stone. And the people have had past, and they have had their records in the past, and then now it's time to move forward. People have been rehabilitated. You want to send a clear example to all the prisoners that's behind walls and people who are in the rehabilitation camps, to show them that all is not lost. I'm a born-again Christian. I believe in God, you know. So the people have spoken. The election has been held on January 9th, and the power of the people is greater than the people in power. I don't think anybody could be a better counselor than I am, because I think I can definitely counsel a young man that do not pass in the path that I pass if I see in the direction that he's going.
Fontaine says the goal of the newly elected members is to bring the community together in order to move it forward.
We are going to take La Plaine to the next level, and we are going to make La Plaine a better place for the youth, to bring rounders back, bring our cricket back. I'm asking the community of La Plaine to join hands. Whether you're white, red, blue, pink, purple, everybody hug each other, say morning, say good afternoon. You know, let's work with the power rep, let's work with all leaders and make La Plaine a better place for the young generation that's growing up. And I can assure you, the public of La Plaine, that what used to happen in the village council, it has come to an end. No more irregularities, and I will make sure of that. No more corruption, no more misappropriate of whatever funds that may be, no more contracts going to one set. Everybody's going to get a piece of the pie.
Meantime, Minister for Social Services told Channel 5 News that the decision is up to the people of La Plaine on who they want on their council.
In community elections, village council election, this is a community-based affair, and you have to look for the best to serve your community whatever way you can, because you want people, you just want that uniting force. Right. That political aspect of it, which, you know, sometimes people take too far, and let them, you know, let it divide them so that they don't take care of the community. That's not so right. Because at the end of the day, La Plaine remains for La Plaine people, and La Plaine people should want what's best for La Plaine.
5 individuals are elected by the community during the village council elections, and 3 are nominated by government to sit on the village council. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
In more news, Minister of National Security Rayburn Blackmore says government intends to begin using X-ray scanners to search barrels of goods into the country. Mr. Blackmore told a news conference on Thursday the move follows the discovery of weapons and ammunition in a barrel containing groceries from the United States last October.
So we see this as a major security threat and breach. And therefore, there is a need to re-examine the manner in which barrels are being and items are being screened at the port and at the custom. And in that regard, the advice is to have a better method at the port and to ensure that every barrel coming into this country is properly screened. So as we speak, we're seeing the installation of an X-ray machine that would detect and record the items in every barrel that are going to come to this country. And a little later, that will be augmented to include the crates and pallets.
He says that individuals operating the X-ray machines will be subjected to polygraph or lie detector tests. Meantime, Chief of Police Daniel Carbon was only prepared to say that local police are working with United States authorities and they are aware who the alleged culprits are.
We are working very closely with the U.S. and the U.S. in dialogue with me have indicated that they are going to take a particular course of action. I am not privy to say what the course of action is going to be, but you can be rest assured that the U.S. are very concerned about firearms, illegal trafficking of firearms, especially when they move around the region, because we in Dominica, we don't produce firearms, we don't make firearms. And so when people go up to the U.S. and they buy their firearms, the firearm they buy, because the U.S., I must say, have their procedure in you acquiring firearms, they have their gun shows and so on. And so you buy your firearm there, but the intention is not for you to buy the firearm and ship it out. And so the U.S. take a very dim view of that, and they consider it a felony.
Attorney at Law Henry Shillingford believes that Dominica should be a world leader in marijuana legalization. Shillingford says he supports the full legalization of marijuana and believes it has the potential to create new industries for the island. He was speaking at a panel discussion on marijuana legalization in Point Michelle on Thursday evening.
Dominica, as I put in the thing, is fundamentally placed to lead this, to guide the world. We can really be the beacon for the world. We're the nature island of the world. If we take this at all seriously, it cannot be that we are making a plant illegal. We must stand up as a country who believes in herbs. Everybody drinks bush medicine. It's a bush. We have to stand up as a people, as Dominicans who believe in the natural environment, and say that Dominica will lead the charge of the West and make ganja fully and available in all its forms so we can have whole new industries to develop.
Shillingford also maintains that marijuana has been unfairly showcased for over 50 years.
I am firmly on the ground of full legalization of ganja. And I'm not for decriminalization. It is a plant. It is like basilic, like parsley. How dare anybody say that God would have created a material that is so dangerous as what all these governments and these police are saying? People are putting in jail for a plant, something that can be grown anywhere. And so it is really, I mean, you're laughing, but this is a serious matter. People have lost their families and gone to jail, and lost their careers. I could lose my career. I'm a lawyer. I can't, be seen with ganja in my office, but I can have all kind of liquor and cigarettes and have no problem.
Meanwhile, an official with the Drug Abuse Prevention Unit is calling for an informed approach on the issues of legalizing medical marijuana. Information and Research Officer at the unit, Martha Jarvis, says that there are both dangerous and beneficial chemicals within the marijuana plant.
There should be strict policy and regulations in place to oversee several aspects of the medical use of marijuana. This would include securing regulatory approval and monitoring to grow low THC and high CBD marijuana from which the oil is extracted, processed, and transported. Approval for the manufacture of the oil. And suitable protocols should be in place for the treatment of the diseases. So it's not just something we should just come and say, let's just approve the use of marijuana as medicine.
The activity was organized by the Library and Information Services in observance of Drug Awareness Month. Other panelists included Assistant Superintendent of Police Claude Wicks and Medical Doctor Sam Christian. You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, a plan to rid the island of pit latrines by year end. That and more when we return. Welcome back. Attorney General Levi Peter says no settlement has been reached between the government and Jamaican dancehall artist Tommy Lee, contrary to some reports circulating online. In February 2014, the artist, whose real name is Leroy Russell, was denied entry into Dominica and as a result prevented from performing at a scheduled concert. At the time, government said he was denied entry on the grounds of public safety. Church groups also rallied to prevent the artist from performing in Dominica.
Rather than say as far as I'm aware, because if there had been a settlement, I would know. There's no settlement as I speak to you with Tommy Lee Sparta. As the situation is as it was previously reported to the media, which is that there were discussions ongoing between legal representatives for Tommy Lee Sparta and the government of Dominica, the Attorney General's chambers, which were being conducted and solicited through the chambers of the Attorney General in Jamaica. A report was referred to me, speaking of some settlement in the sum of $3 million. I can say that categorically, that is inaccurate, incorrect. And from where I sit, on the instructions I have on behalf of the government at the moment, there will be no settlement in the sum of $3 million.
He said that the Caribbean Court of Justice is expected to hand down its judgment in a separate case involving the show's promoter, Cabral Douglas. Douglas has applied for special permission to bring the case before the CCJ as an individual.
And so he has brought a claim under the revised Treaty of Chagaramas in respect to alleged breaches of that treaty. That's the CCJ matter. That is separate and distinct from the Tommy Lee Sparta matter. The Cabral Douglas, just for finality, the Cabral Douglas matter is there was a hearing recently before the CCJ, which is as an individual, he would need to get special leave from the CCJ to be able to bring the claim. There was a hearing in respect to that. The CCJ has reserved its decision and will give its judgment on that any time. So that matter is an ongoing legal matter.
Total eradication of pit latrines in the country by the end of this year is high on the agenda of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Mr. Skerrit was addressing residents in Layu on Thursday night when he made the announcement.
We have launched a program, it's been in effect, but we are bringing heightened awareness to it. That is the eradication of pit latrines in Dominica. It is the only country in the world where a prime minister knows of everybody or has the names of everybody who needs a washroom in his country. I am systematically going about providing the resources to eradicate pit latrines in Dominica, because I want for this country at the end, on December 31st, 2017, to proclaim to the world that we have no pit latrines in our country.
In speaking of further developments in the Layu area, the Prime Minister also disclosed that government will assist financially in transportation of students to the Dominica State College. He encouraged the children to be more dedicated to their academic development.
It is not the responsibility of Kelva or myself to make you pass your exams. It is the responsibility of yourself as a student and your family to ensure that you study and you do well. Where you need help, reach out to Kelva and we'll help. But studying is for you to do. So let us make it very clear to you, from this month, for the duration of your studies at the State College, you will receive $150 every month as transportation allowance to get you to stock farm at the State College.
Improved housing and road rehabilitation works are also due to get underway in Layu.
There are some families that have senior homes, I have seen photographs of your homes, and we have to fix those homes. We will start building homes with the elderly first, then the women with children, single mothers with children, and then we'll move to the more able among us as well. I have received, as Kelva has indicated, the estimates for the roads, particularly in the housing scheme. I will not promise you we'll do all at one time, but we promise you we'll start reconstruction of those roads very soon.
Construction of a community center, which will double up as a hurricane shelter, and further development on the Layo Beach are also on the cards for that community. Preparatory work is progressing to guide the construction of additional apartments at Silver Lake for fire-stricken victims. Here's more on that story.
Channel 5 News has been reliably informed that a contract will soon be signed for the government-funded project. The initial designs had to be reviewed, resulting in the expansion of the drawings, according to a top housing official. This was done taking into consideration the number of households affected by the Boxing Day fire, which left 18 families displaced. Housing Minister Reginald Austrie said government is seeking to engage contractors for the third and fourth apartment buildings. There has been significant progress on the second apartment building at Silver Lake, which is under construction. This footage was taken on Thursday. More men have been employed on the project since its resumption in December after the fire.
As we wrap up, we can tell you that this season's Stardom Calypso tent will see the return of Tasha P., the only female Calypso monarch. Tasha returned to the Calypso scene at the recently held Calypso eliminations, having been studying in Trinidad for the past 4 years. The Stardom tent kicks off this Saturday with 20 Calypsonians, and among them are newcomers Healer, Nashel, Stefan, Genius, and Lady V. Stardom is moving to a new venue this time around at the Strip on the Lubier Highway. Events promoter Leroy Wadix-Charles said a new feature will be a clash of the sexes.
We are going to select the feminine or the females in the tent against some of the males, and they will compete. We call it the clash for the first time ever, the clash of the sexes.
That's news. Andrea Louis comes up with sports highlights.
Kicking off with football, victory for Ray Charles Point Michelle, Maho Soca Strikers and the Dubla Football Club from their matches on Thursday night. PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Gerald George, has the details.
Point Michelle edged out ACS 7-11 Pottersville Tarish United 3-2 at the Puri playing field. Lara Labassiere, Donald Charles and Elton Lafile scored for Point Michelle. Kerry Bedminster scored for Tarish, with the other goal coming through an own goal. While at the Pottersville playing field, Maho Soca Strikers went past Haitian Angels 6-2. Denzel Loda registered a hat-trick for Soca Strikers, with Duran Sebastian getting 2 and Brad John Baptist 1. Natson Bear Amy and Jacques Seneda scored 1 each for Haitian Angels. And at the Dubla playing field, Dubla Football Club made good use of home advantage with a comfortable 4-0 victory over Element Agency's LA Stars. Chical St. Mary scored a brace, with 1 each coming from Danfield Daniel and Alexis Anselm.
More games are slated for Saturday, with a Trafalgar FC versus Delton United game at 4 p.m. Sunday's match will feature a clash of the Warner and Skerrit Northeast football clubs, also at 5 p.m. in Dubla. Meantime, in the DFA Flow Premier League on Saturday, Petro Caribe Point Michelle Football Club will go head-to-head with Bath Estate FC at Geneva. The Sagicor Southeast Football Club will also come up against the Exodus Football Club on Saturday, and on Sunday, Caribbean Cool Harlem United will come up against RIC Kensborough FC at Geneva from 3. Benjamin's Park will be the venue for a 4 p.m. match between Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla Football Club and Middleham United Football Club. Next up, President of the Dominica Cricket Association, Emmanuel Nanthan, says while the possibility of hosting a day-night match at the Windsor Park is not possible right now, the idea is not far-fetched. His comments come ahead of the May 10th Test match between West Indies and Pakistan at the Windsor Park Stadium.
At present, we will only be hosting day games since we're still working on the upgrading of the lights at Windsor Park. The government have received one quote and we're awaiting a second quote, and that will be utilized we'll use those to weigh and see if the government will want to invest in improving the lights here to host international games at night.
Finally, the White Oak Domino League continues with 3 games on Saturday and 8 on Sunday. Saturday's matches will feature action between Rockers and Bay Boys at Tarish Pit, then Public Enemies coming up against the Heats at Fanso's Bar in Roseau, and Petit Savan versus Penville Strikers at Rona's Bar in Canefield. These games begin at 5 p.m. The action continues on Sunday, where Petit Savan and Kongori Warriors will go head-to-head at Marigot. Penville Strikers will play host to Tremors. Fire Services will take on One Case from Dodan in Roseau. Over at Layu, it will be the Wake Up Stars versus Layu. Dolphins against the Valiants in Monrachet. Nun Players taking on Mon Zion in Maho. La Plaine versus Strikers in La Plaine, and Itasi Stars against Stars at Anne's de May. These matches are carded for 11 a.m. That's all the sports for now. Join us next time. Thank you.
A small craft warning continues for the island. Here's the weather forecast.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I will be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rock Korea. Today, weak and stable conditions was a dominant feature affecting weather conditions across the Lesser Antilles. Earlier visible satellite imagery showed some low-level clouds traverse across the eastern Caribbean. Earlier radar imagery indicated some scattered showers to the northwest of Dominica as well as over in the Atlantic Ocean. The weather tonight is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers, and the winds are expected to come from the north, peaking 30 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, similar conditions can be expected. That is partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with some scattered showers, and also some breezy conditions can be anticipated. Let's take a look now at the marine forecast. Well, sea conditions will continue to be rough. A small craft warning is still in effect. Waves are expected to peak up to 12 feet. Therefore, all users of the sea and the persons along low-lying coastal areas are advised to be vigilant and to exercise caution. Let's take a look now at the weather for the weekend. Well, similar conditions can be expected for the 3 days. That is partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers, and also some breezy conditions can be expected. Let's take a look now at the weather forecasted for the rest of the Caribbean tomorrow. Well, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers, and also some breezy conditions can be expected for most of the islands of the Lesser Antilles, with some fair to partly cloudy skies with brief showers expected for the southern portion of the Lesser Antilles. On the international scene, overcast skies are expected for the cities of New York and Miami, and partly cloudy skies anticipated for London, Caracas, and Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:35 a.m. and will set at 5:54 p.m. For more information, you could always visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us next week for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
To end the news, the headlines again. The possibility of relocation for Dubla residents near the sea, not a far-fetched idea for government. The authorities get tough to tackle restricted items in barrel imports. And AG refutes outside reports that Tommy Lee has won a lawsuit over the Dominica government. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsJan13th2k17. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona Jean-Baptiste. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.